Hi there, it's Lisa again from Imagination Crafts, and today for this demo I'm going to show you a lovely little simple technique using our beautiful tree stencil. Lovely stencil, as you can see, with lots of different tree shapes in there. Gives you a lovely bark effect. Also, I'm going to be using our fabulous starlights, and I love our starlights. Anyone that hasn't used our starlights, well, you are in for a treat. Fantastic metallic paints, water-based metallic paints, and they've got ground gilding flakes in them, and they're just superb to use, and you'll see how they're going to work so lovely together. Again, I'm going to be using the mixed media ink sprays. I'm really falling in love with these. Lovely vibrant colour. This is the light blue, and then also the light green. They're my go-to colours really, so I tend to use them quite a lot. Okay, so we're going to start first of all by taking my spritz box, and I'm going to put a piece of watercolour card, 5 3/4 inches watercolour card, into the box. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create sort of a scene. So I'm going to try to put some sky into it, and then I'm going to add some little clouds, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm just going to start off with the light blue. So I want quite a lot of colour on the background first of all. So pretty much saturating it quite a lot. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a baby wipe, and I'm just going to scrunch it up into a little ball, and then I'm going to take it and I'm just going to dab out some areas, taking the ink away from the background. So just turning over your baby wipe as you do it, so that you're not adding the ink back in. You want to have a clean baby wipe to pull it away and not put the ink back in. And can you see the way it's creating these lovely little fluffy clouds in the background? And this is something that's so simple to do, but really, really effective. So again, just turning that wipe over, getting the most out of it, and each time just taking away a little bit of ink off of that background. If you get any on the edges, you can literally take your baby wipe and just pull it back from the edges of your card, so that you're taking the excess ink off. And you can see straight away we start to produce clouds in there. It's fabulous, isn't it? So what I'm then going to do is I'm going to bring in the light green, and I'm going to add some grass into it. So again, I'm just going to spritz at the bottom, just so that it works its way into the blue. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this to dry. Now if you find that your clouds are starting to disappear a little bit, go back in with a baby wipe, because obviously it's going to take a little while to dry, and just take a little bit more out of it. And it may be that you've got a tiny bit of green has gone up over there, so you can just take that out again, and you start to see that you build a really nice background. Now I'm going to move on and show you one that's dried, and here's one I did earlier, and can you see how lovely that looks? We've got the lovely bit of greenery in there, and then you've got those soft clouds in the background. So I'm going to bring that right up. You can see those little puffy clouds in the background there. Looks great, doesn't it? So I'm going to take my tree stencil, and I'm going to pop it down on top of my card. Take some of our pressure sensitive stencil tape and pop it along the top. Always make your hinge along the top, just in case you need to check anything. Going to take some down one side and then the other. Make sure your stencil's as flat as possible when you're doing it, and then take the bottom one on and anchor that down with your stencil tape. Okay, now the fabulous starlights. This is where it gets exciting. So I'm just going to take some of my starlights. When you get them, first of all, they have a little seal on top, and this is fabulous because it keeps the product sealed inside when it comes to you. So you're just going to take that little seal, and you can completely take that off, and then you've got a bit of starlight. Now I don't like to waste any of my starlight, so I'm going to take that bit of seal and I'm going to take that starlight off of there. This is being frugal, isn't it? But you know what we're like as crafters. Every little bit counts. So I'm just going to pop that out the way, take some of my starlights onto my blending tool, and I'm just going to pounce it into the tool softly. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over the top of the stencil, and I'm just going to softly press it into it. Now, one of my earlier demos, I got a little bit carried away and I pounced quite hard, and then we had a shaky camera. So I'm going to avoid doing that this time, or try to, just by being a little bit more gentle with my blending tool. So just holding your stencil down and just popping the gorgeous Starlights through. And when I hold this up to you, you're going to see how much ground gilding flakes are in that, and how we get that beautiful metallic foiled look from it. They really are so lovely to work with, and I'm hoping that it's going to show you on the camera how lovely and blingy these really are. So again, just keep applying a little bit each time. Now I tend to not tip mine out the bottle, I tend to tilt it up and just take a little bit each time, because I find if you decant too much, then you've got to clean up to put it back in. So just a little at each time, just adding it through the stencil and getting that gorgeous shine on the background. So again, applying a little bit more, working it into the foam and just gently sponging it through onto your background. Let's take a little bit more off of there. Gosh, look at that gorgeous shine. That really is starting to come through. So I'm going to need a tiny bit more. And again, popping that on the last one. Okay, so I've got a really good coverage there. So I'm going to take my tape off the bottom. And as Sue always says, and I'm exactly the same, we like to reuse our tape over and over again, because we can get quite a few uses from it. I'm going to pop that out and I'm going to show you how fabulous that looks. Look at that, how luscious is that? All of that beautiful gilding flakes showing through there. I don't know about you, but I'm really excited about that. I think that's beautiful. So just to ground the trees, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my stencil out the way, and what I've done, I've taken a piece of card and I've just cut a little mound in there. Can you see there's like a wavy line? Okay, so little mound. Now you might be hearing in the background at this point a little bit of rain. When Sue and I first started doing these YouTube tutorials today, we had beautiful sunshine. But let's face it, we are in Britain and we all know what the weather's like. So you may be hearing a little bit of rain in the background. But hey ho, that doesn't stop us, does it? We're in the studio, we're out in the garden, and we're doing our best. So as you can see, I've just put the mound on the bottom of the trees, and I'm taking some more of the Starlights and just sponging it on the bottom of the card. Now I want to really try and hide the base of those trees, so I'm going to do a second layer. So again, just adding a little bit more of the Starlights and just sponging that on. Oh, I do love this. Look at that bling there. It's beautiful, and this is such a simple card. You could make this into any season card. Think of this for Christmas, for winter. You know, you could add a few snowflakes coming down onto it. It's absolutely beautiful. It could be a men's card. You know, we can do so much with this. We've got a beautiful background there. Now what I decided to do, as I like spring, spring's my favourite season with everything coming alive, what I've done is I've taken some little punched flowers and leaves and I've put a sentiment on there, and how beautiful is that? We've got the gorgeous trees in the background and we've got all the lovely little flowers. I'm going to bring that up tight there so you can see those. Isn't that gorgeous? Well, I hope that's inspired you to have a go, and I'll be back soon with some more.